Farewell, my adored land, region of the sun caressed, pearl of the Orient Sea, or Eden lost. With gladness I give thee my life, sad and repressed. And were it more brilliant, more fresh, and at its best, I would still give it to you for your welfare utmost. On the fields of battle, in the fury of fight, others give you their lives without pain or hesitancy. The place does not matter, cypress, laurel, lily white, scaffold, open field, conflict, or martyrdom site. It is the same if asked by home and country. I die as I see tints in the sky begin to show, and at last announce the day after a gloomy night. If you need a hue to dye your matutinal glow, pour my blood and at the right moment spread it so, and gild it with a reflection of your nascent light. My dreams, when scarcely a lad adolescent, my dreams, when already a youth, full of vigor to attain, where to see you, gem of the sea of the Orient, your dark eyes dry, smooth brow held to a high plane, without frown, without wrinkles, and of shame without stain.
My life's fancy, my ardent, passionate desire, hail, cries out the soul to you, that will soon part from thee. Hail, how sweet taste of all that fullness you may acquire, to die to give you life, neath your skies to expire, and in your mystic land to sleep through eternity. If over my tomb someday you would see blow a simple humble flower amidst thick grasses, bring it up to your lips and kiss my soul so, and under my cold tomb I feel on my brow warmth of your breath, a whiff of your tenderness. Let the moon with soft, gentle light me descry. Let the dawn send forth its fleeting, brilliant light. In murmurs grave allow the wind to sigh, and should a bird descend on my cross and alight, let the bird intone a song of peace o'er my sight. Let the burning sun the raindrops vaporize, and with my clamor behind return pure to the sky. Let a friend shed tears over my early demise, and on quiet afternoons, when one prays for me on high, pray too, O my motherland, that in God may rest I. Pray thee for all the hapless to have died, for all those who unequaled torments have undergone, for our poor mothers who in bitterness have cried, for orphans, widows, and captives the tortures were shied, and pray too that you may see your own redemption. And when the dark night wraps the cemetery, and only the dead to vigil there are left alone, don't disturb their repose, don't disturb the mystery. If you hear the sounds of cittern or psaltery, it is I, dear country, who a song to you intone. And when my grave by all is no more remembered, with neither cross nor stone to mark its place, let it be plowed by men, with spade let it be scattered, and my ashes ere to nothingness are restored, let them turn to dust to cover your earthly space. Then it doesn't matter that you should forget me, your atmosphere, your skies, your veils I'll sweep, vibrant and clear note to your ears I shall be, aroma, lights, yes, murmur, song, moanings deep, constantly repeating the essence of the faith I keep. My idolized country, for whom I most gravely pine, dear Philippines, to my last goodbye, oh hearken, there I leave all, my parents, loves of mine, I'll go where there are no slaves, tyrants or hangmen, where fate does not kill, and where God alone does reign. Farewell, parents, brothers, beloved by me, friends of my childhood, in the home distressed. Give thanks that now I rest from the wearisome day. Farewell, sweet stranger, my friend who brightened my way. Farewell to all I love, to die is to rest.
Let's now proceed to the interpretation of every stanza in Rizal's poem, Mi Ultimo Adios. The first stanza speaks about Rizal's beautiful description of his fatherland. He used the biblical Eden to describe the pre-Hispanic Philippines, which is an imaginary time of purity and innocence. He adores the beautiful country that he and others are fighting for. He said that he is glad to give his life to Filipinas even though his life was brighter, fresher, or more blessed than it is now, pertaining to the time when he wrote the poem. The second stanza speaks about the men who gave their life to this beloved country. Rizal said that their dedication and patriotism to the country is without second thoughts. It doesn't matter how one struggles, that all struggles, all deaths, are worth it if it is for the good of the country. The third stanza speaks about Rizal's love of liberty. The image of dawn that Rizal used in the first line signifies the liberation that he adores. In the third and fourth line, he says that if the color of liberation lacks his blood, he must die for the country to attain freedom. The fourth stanza presents the flashback of Rizal's love for the patria that started when he was young. He was young when he saw the martyrdom of the Gomburza and promised that he would dedicate himself to avenge one day for those victims. His dreams were to see his country in eminent liberation, free from sorrow and grief. The fifth stanza repeats Rizal's dream of complete liberation. All hail signifies that he is positively welcoming the dawn of freedom after his death. He also repeats what he has said in the third stanza, that it is his desire to dedicate his life to the patria. The sixth stanza describes the image of Rizal's grave being forgotten someday. The grassy sod may represent the country's development, the growth of liberty, and that with the redemption of the country, he becomes forgotten. Rizal does not say here that he wants monuments, streets, or school in his name, just a fond kiss and a warm breath so he could feel he is not forgotten. In the seventh stanza, Rizal says he wants to see or feel the moon, dawn, wind, and a bird over his grave. The moon's beam may represent a night without its gloom, like a country without its oppressors. The imagery of dawn has been repeated here, and its radiant flashes represent the shining light of redemption that sheds over his honor. Only the wind will lament over his grave. The bird does not lament him, but sings of peace, the peace that comes with liberation, and the peace with which he rests below. In the eighth stanza, the metaphor of the sun drawing the vapors up to the sky signifies that the earth is being cleansed by the sun, like taking away the sorrows and tears that has shed, including his last cry. Line 3 reminds us to remember why he died, for the redemption of the country. And he wants to hear a prayer in the still evening. Evening because he may also want to see a beam of light from the moon, which is stated in the stanza 7, and that it is before the dawn. prayers he stated that will make him rest in peace in God's hands. Rizal said in the ninth stanza that he also wants his fellow men to also pray for others who also have died and suffered for the country. Also, he wants to pray for the mothers, the orphans and widows, and the captives who also have cried and have tortured, and again for his soul to rest in peace. The 10th stanza says that Rizal's tomb is on the graveyard with the other dead people. Rizal says that in the night he does not want to be disturbed in his rest along with the others and the mystery the graveyard contains. And whenever we hear a sad song emanating from the grave, it is he who sings for his fatherland. In the 11th stanza, Rizal says a request that his ashes be spread by the flow before it will no longer take significance. His ashes represent his thoughts, words, and philosophy, making his intellectual remains. The symbolic ashes should be spread all over Filipinas to fertilize the new free country long after he is forgotten. The 12th stanza again speaks about being forgotten, but Rizal does not care about it anymore. Oblivion does not matter, for he would travel far and wide over his beloved fatherland. He keeps his faith with him as he sings his hymn for the nation. Rizal says goodbye to his adored fatherland in the 13th stanza. He gives goodbye to his parents, friends, and the small children. He gives everything to Filipinas. Now, he satisfies his death by saying he will be going to a place where there is peace, no slaves, no oppressors, no killed fate. He is going to a place where God rules over, not the tyrants. Finally, in the last stanza, Rizal cries his farewell to all his fellow men, his childhood friends, and his sweet friend that lightened his way. In the last line, he repeats that in death there is rest, which means that he, being ready to be executed, is happy to die in peace.